I feel, I know why you are here. You came with this question, with this pain, with this bewilderment that has been accumulating inside for years. You were called crazy. They laughed at you. They whispered behind your back, and to your face they hurled accusations of insanity. They, colleagues, friends, sometimes even the closest ones, did not see what you saw. They lived in a convenient illusion for them, in a soft fog of everyday life. And your truth, your vision, were like a bright, blinding light that hurt their eyes. And their reaction was to reject it, to reject you. They shouted, "He's crazy," trying to drown out not your voice, but their own inner fear, their own discomfort. But now something has changed. What you warned about has happened. Events unfolded as you foresaw. And now the same people are looking at you differently. In their eyes, there is no longer mockery, but shock, fear, and perhaps even the beginning of respect. This reading is about your path, the path of a seer who was not heard, the path of a truth-teller who was tried to be broken, the path of a leader who is only now beginning to receive recognition. We will walk through all the stages of this transformation, from exile to triumph. And every card we reveal will become another fragment of the mirror reflecting your amazing story. I see the very essence of what was happening around you. It wasn't a simple misunderstanding. It was a real energetic storm. Your depth, your ability to see through the lies and conventions of the so-called matrix, it touched people to the quick. It touched their shadow sides, those corners of the soul they themselves are afraid to illuminate. Your truth was like an accusation they could not bear. And in response, they tried to tarnish your name. They created an aura of distrust around you, whispered, spread rumors, did everything to make others turn away from you. You tried to reach them, tried to warn them, to share your vision, but they just brushed it off. They preferred to remain in their convenient, albeit false, world. And in this context, I see the Five of Pentacles. This is precisely the energy they tried to push you into. A feeling of exile, spiritual poverty, as if you were left alone with your truth in the cold wind, while they took shelter in their temple of illusions. You felt rejected, misunderstood, almost an outcast. But the key here is that the door to that temple was always open. You just needed to renounce your truth to enter. You did not do that, and in that lies your strength. Then comes the Ace of Swords. This is your breakthrough. This is that very moment of clarity, epiphany, when you didn't just feel, but you knew. Your mind was pierced by truth like a flash of lightning. It was an unshakable, crystal-clear conclusion, a concept you could no longer keep to yourself. You brought it into the light, and it was this clarity, this Ace of Swords, that caused such a stormy reaction.
They were not ready for such sharpness of thought, for such a dissection of their reality. This is your intellectual and intuitive weapon that you unsheathed.
But to hold this weapon, to not break under pressure, required not brute force, but something else. And this is the Strength card. Here it manifests in all its beauty. This is not the strength of a fist or loud words. This is a quiet, unshakable strength of spirit. This is the ability to tame the inner beast of doubt, fear, and anger with compassion and gentleness. You did not engage with them in conflict on their terms. You remained in your center, in your heart's strength. You directed the chaos of their emotions and your own pain, not with aggression, but with deep inner calm and conviction. It was this strength that allowed you not to become a cynic, not to become embittered, but to keep your soul untouched. And finally, at the foundation of all this was your personal power over the situation, the Magician card. You are that very magician. You had all the tools from the very beginning. Willpower, the wand; deep understanding, the cup; clear thought, the sword; and connection to the material world, the pentacle. You used them, perhaps without even fully realizing it. You directed your energy so that your voice would be heard, so that your vision would be formulated. You were the creator of your reality, even when the external world tried to deny it. They laughed at the magician, not understanding that he had already set in motion forces they could not comprehend. And then the turning point came. Time is the best judge, and it began to put everything in its place. What seemed like madness manifested as prophecy. What was considered delirium turned out to be a sober calculation. And I see how the energy around you began to change. Here is the Nine of Cups. It is often called the Wish card, but here its meaning is deeper. This is the card of deep internal satisfaction. This is not a gloating "I told you so." No, this is a quiet, profound joy that the universe, your intuition, your inner compass turned out to be true. This is the moment when you sit alone and feel a warm feeling of confirmation spreading inside you. I was right. I wasn't crazy. There was a light in me, and it turned out to be real. This is emotional fulfillment, a reward for all those nights of doubt. But along with this recognition came the understanding that some roads have been traveled to the end. The Eight of Cups appears. This is the energy of departure, not escape, but a conscious, spiritual departure from what no longer resonates with your new truth. You are leaving behind those people, those situations, those old beliefs that refuse to see the truth. You are turning your back on their toxicity and beginning an ascent to something higher, more true. You realize that you can no longer waste your energy trying to reach those who refuse to hear.
And this departure is not a defeat, but an act of supreme wisdom and self-preservation.
And someone, on the contrary, begins to arrive. I see the Page of Cups. This is a message. These are new people entering your life, or those from your old circle who have finally opened their eyes and hearts. They bring you emotional support, genuine interest. They look at you not as an outcast, but as a person carrying an interesting, profound truth. They want to learn, to listen, to understand. These are the first swallows of a new cycle, harbingers that your message will begin to find a response in more receptive souls. And after all this storm, after the struggle and the first acknowledgments, you needed a respite. The Four of Swords, this is your well-deserved retreat. This is a time of meditation, healing, processing everything that happened. You withdrew into your sanctuary to regain your strength, to contemplate your path, to integrate this bittersweet experience of recognition. This is not depression or an escape from reality. This is a strategic pause of a warrior who is licking his wounds and preparing for a new, already different battle. You were gathering strength for the next, more large-scale stage. And this stage was not long in coming. Because after healing and internal recognition always comes a new, powerful energy of creation. The universe begins to reward you not only morally, but also materially, energetically. Here it is, the Ace of Pentacles. A new beginning in the material world. This is the seed of huge opportunities. After all the hardship symbolized by the Five of Pentacles, a door to prosperity, stability, and real, tangible success is now opening before you. Perhaps this is a new project, a new offer, a new stage in your career, or simply the solid ground under your feet that was so needed. This is a sign that your loyalty to your truth is beginning to bear fruit in the physical plane as well. And following it, the Six of Wands, triumph. This is public recognition. This is that moment when you walk down the street and people look at you not with mockery, but with respect. This is the energy of victory, leadership. You are beginning to be perceived as the one who was right, who led the way, who did not turn aside. This is your triumphant entry into the city whose inhabitants once condemned you. Your reward is not only in fame, but in the fact that your truth was finally heard and accepted. And with this victory comes a new level of responsibility. The Page of Pentacles is a student who has already achieved his first success. Now you are this page. You are beginning to deeply, diligently study the new opportunities that have opened up before you. You are learning to manage your newfound influence, your prosperity. You look at the seed of the Ace of Pentacles and think, how do I nurture it? How to use this energy for something greater? This is a practical, grounded approach to your spiritual leadership. But the path of a leader is not easy. The Ten of Wands reminds us of this. This is the burden of responsibility, the weight of expectations, a multitude of tasks, projects, requests for help has fallen on your shoulders. You feel the burden that all pioneers carry. Sometimes you may get tired, feel that you have taken on too much. But it is important to remember, this is the burden of your gift, not a punishment. And it can be carried with dignity by learning to delegate and rest. Everything that has happened and is happening to you is not an accident. It is part of the great law. And here appears the justice card. The universe always restores balance. The mockery and rejection you experienced were unjust, but energy does not disappear. It returned to you in the form of recognition, respect, and new opportunities. Karma closed the circle. Your name was cleared, your reputation restored. This card says, balance is restored. You got what you deserved. And this applies not only to external events, but also to your internal state. You have found inner integrity, harmony between who you are inside and how you are perceived outside. But any ascension requires the destruction of the old, and this destruction is symbolized by the Tower card. It was necessary. That very false matrix, those old belief systems, prisons of others' opinions, they could not withstand the power of your truth. They collapsed. Perhaps it happened dramatically. Breakups of relationships, the collapse of old projects, the shattering of illusions. It was scary and painful, but this tower was built on the sand of lies. Its destruction cleared the space for something real, solid, bright. You were that catalyst, that bolt of lightning that brought this structure down so that everyone, including those who laughed, could see the clear sky. And from the rubble of the old world, a new, pure beginning is born. The Ace of Cups. This is a new emotional start. The cup of your heart, which was once filled with bitterness and disappointment, is now overflowing with new, sacred love, compassion, and deep emotional fullness. You look at the world and at people with new love, without resentment, with an understanding of their path. This card is an offering of a new, deep emotional connection with life, with God, with the Source. You are ready to love and receive love on a completely new level. And now, as we have walked this entire path from exile to triumph, I want you to feel what I feel. Your story is not just a personal story, it is archetypal. You are one of those who are awakening. Your soul, your higher self, activated these memories in you, this ability to see through lies. You have stepped out of the false matrix and begun to build a bridge back to the source, to your true, infinite nature. And by doing this, you are becoming a beacon for others. You are that very light bearer, a leader of the new time. People, perhaps not yet fully understanding it, feel your energy. They watch you from afar, intrigued, sensing the truth you carry. They want to free themselves from their illusions, and your example shows them that it is possible. You are helping the collective to rise. Your inner strength, which we spoke about at the beginning, now combines with the wisdom of justice and the new emotional beginning of the Ace of Cups. You have found balance. You have learned to set healthy boundaries. This is the energy of the Queen of Swords you embodied, no longer afraid to be yourself. You have balanced logic and intuition within yourself. This is the spirit of the King of Wands, which allows you to find the right path and move forward confidently. And now, walking this path, guided by intuition, you are attracting abundance. The energy of the Nine of Pentacles, which replaced the Nine of Pentacles from your list, this is the positive energy of abundance that manifests in all areas of life. You are not just surviving, you are thriving. And by your example, by your confidence in yourself as an incredible soul, you help others to liberate themselves, to achieve well-being and awakening. You are surrounded by strong spirits, warriors of light. Your spiritual awakening has only strengthened this alliance. The energy of the flow that moves through you heals and brings purity. The deep spiritual awareness you have acquired helps you and others understand their true purpose. A collective awakening is taking place. Old belief systems are crumbling like that tower, opening up new, incredible opportunities. And you are at the forefront of these changes. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are a creator of a new reality. Your faith in love, in light, in goodness, that is the very force that creates great transformation around you. You help people to perceive awakening not as fear, but as the greatest adventure of their lives. So accept this role. Accept this recognition. Accept this responsibility and this joy. You were right. You were not crazy. You were and are awakened, and your time has come. If this message resonated in your heart, if you recognized your story in this reading, share this light with others. Subscribe to this channel so that we can continue to walk this path of awakening together. Leave your comment, share your experience. Your voice matters. Your truth matters. And remember, they laughed until what you said happened, and now they are listening.